Welcome to Tea Time with Mama Swoo. I hate to love my Canon R6. I love to hate my Canon R6. Some of you may be considering buying a new digital camera and have considered this camera. Let me share with you some of my emotionally biased opinions. I have owned my R6 for over a year now. I have shot sports, including 26,000 photos at a women collegiate golf tournament, a headshot session using off-camera flashes, and even a wedding bridal portrait in a redwood grove. I have also used the R6 to film interviews at 4K 30 frames per second and adoptable dogs and cats at SPCA at 4K 60 frames per second. I love my R6. Here are some of the advantages. If you have previously used a Rebel or Canon 5D or Canon 5D Mark IV, then the camera controls are intuitive and easy to learn and use. R6 has fast and accurate autofocusing, including people and animal face and eyes recognition and tracking. It's easy to switch to single spot or expand the single spot with a customized AF on button. R6 has superior ISO performance. I have usable photos at ISO 64,000. I like Canon's color science. This is also made better with Adobe Lightroom Classic's version 11's Canon R6 camera matching profiles. Canon can use Canon EF lenses with EF to RF adapter with or without a control ring. I can use the control ring as an additional control, such as changing white balance Kelvin setting. For sports and wildlife, I can shoot 12 frames per second with mechanical shutter and 20 frames per second with electronic shutter. R6 has dual slots recording, actually recording both RAW and JPEGs to both cards. R6 has IBIS, in-body image stabilization. I'm able to have good handheld footage or low-light photos without using gimbals or tripods. I hate my R6. Here are some of the disadvantages. R6 will overheat when filming videos at 4K 60 frames per second. The workaround is to film shorter clips at 1080 or reset the overheat timer. R6 will eat batteries. I carry a few spare batteries. I also use a vertical grip that holds 2 batteries. Avoid the use of the rear LCD display. At outdoor sports, I mount a HDMI monitor on top of the Canon R6, but lose the touch focus capability. I have to change focus point with the multi-controller. For every 1 out of 40,000 photos, for me, R6 will freeze for no apparent reasons. I just roll my eyeballs, reset the camera by popping out the batteries. For shooting fast moving sports at 20 frames per second, photos taken with electronic shutter will have the jello effects due to rolling shutter. I revert back to mechanical shutters. Color science for some people has been a challenge. For color accurate work, I normally shoot a color checker to create a R6 camera profile that corresponds to the lighting condition. Fortunately, Lightroom Classic 11 now has R6 camera matching profiles. RFL lenses are expensive and will be an excellent long-term investment. For me personally, I've stopped buying the RF lenses and instead have a collection of EF lenses which I can use of vintage analog film cameras such as Canon EOS 650, 2 EOS 620s, and EOS 1. I do have a few RF lenses though, the 100 to 500, 35, and 85 millimeter. Worst of all, R6 is making me a horrible film photographer. As an analog film photographer, I strive to focus and expose manually and accurately with my own brain and aesthetics. R6 matrix metering, autofocusing, and other functions are making me a photographer who is becoming more and more stupid and lazy. As a digital and analog photographer, it's more important for me to concentrate on the results instead of the gear. It's more important for me to create a visual story and realize the vision with a thoughtful and deliberate process. Gear is not everything. In the next few weeks, Shutter Swoo will in fact publish an episode on how to shoot an R6 like a Leica M6. I will show you that it's possible to shoot R6 with manual exposure, manual focusing, and even using a Leica M-mount lens. It's a methodical process that makes me a slower but more purposeful and better photographer. R6 is fast, effective, and efficient. This is my second all-time favorite digital camera. First being not the R3, but the R1 that I'm holding out for. I assume Canon will be releasing Canon R1 for the next Summer Olympics in 2024 at Paris. Almost all modern camera systems are great, including, not in prioritized order, Canon, Nikon, Sony, Olympus, Panasonic. You cannot make a bad or wrong decision. They all take great photos. For each individual photo, I don't think R6 may make a photo better as compared to my current camera or another brand's digital mirrorless Micro Four Thirds or even medium format camera. I can make and edit a well-exposed and accurately focused photo to look fabulous, whether it's Canon R6, Canon 5D, or a Rebel. R6 does make me a better photographer because I can take more good photos more frequently. My hit rate has definitely increased. R6 is making me a more satisfied photographer because Mama Swoo has a smile on my face when I review the photos on the LCD display after I have taken a photo or look at a camera at 100% in Lightroom or Adobe Bridge. Mama Swoo highly recommend R6 to my friends. Do consider camera purchase based on your use cases, workflows, requirements, and budget constraints. Happy shooting and happy shopping. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Tea Time with Mama Swoo.